After Effects is incredible, but if you're not using plugins, then you're wasting time, you're wasting energy, and you're definitely wasting money. Because the truth is, the difference between an average workflow and a professional workflow is one thing and one thing only, and that's automation. So in this video, I'm going to be rapid firing the top 5 After Effects plugins that you need that will save you the most time and completely level up your edits. So without further ado, let's get on to number 1. So first up on our list, we have FX Console by VideoCopilot. Now this is hands down by far the most useful thing that you will ever need. I don't even know why Adobe hasn't just built this into After Effects itself, because it works so seamlessly and it feels like it should be part of the software from the get-go. It's completely free and you can download it from VideoCopilot.net. The link will be in the description. And after you've got it installed, it essentially works as an instant search bar for effects. So normally the process of adding an effect in After Effects is you have the layer selected, you head up to the Effects and Presets tab, then you click on the search box and you can type in whatever effect you're looking for, mosaic for example, and then we can drop and drag it onto the effect. Now, granted, that didn't take a lot of time, but if you're doing that over and over and over again for hours each day, that 10 seconds here or 10 seconds there adds up to be quite a long amount of time. So instead, FX Console, when it's installed, you just have the layer selected, you hit, on a MacBook, you'd hit Control Spacebar, and it will instantly bring up the effects panel. You can just type in whatever effect you want, hit enter, and it applies it instantly. Now, this is really useful if you've got complicated edits and you're slapping on loads of effects each time onto every single thing. Reducing the need to use your mouse or your mouse pad is by far the thing that's going to speed up your editing workflow the most, as it's the thing that physically takes the most motion and therefore is slowing down your workflow. FX Console is completely free, it's super easy to download, and if there's only one plugin you take away from this whole video, it's this one, so make sure you download it. So After Effects plugin number 2 is QuickDraw. Now QuickDraw, I'm gonna hold my hands up in the air and say that I did build this plugin. This is my own plugin that I custom built for video editors to save you time on the boring, repetitive tasks of keyframing, messing around with layers, messing around with repetitive effects that you're always putting on. I built this because this is the plugin that I wish existed, but it didn't. For example, the create buttons. Not reinventing the wheel, but it's super nice to have them all in one clean spot. We can create text layers, null layers, shape layers, adjustment layers. Whatever layer you have selected, by adding a new layer, it'll add it just in the layer above that in the timeline. It won't jump straight to the top of the composition, which is something I would normally find really annoying. So that solves that problem. We've got instant scale, so just by tapping the button, we can scale stuff up by 10%, scale stuff down by 10%. The transition buttons, these save so much time. Just from one click, it'll add a null layer, it'll lasso and attach anything you had selected to that null layer, and then it will keyframe the motion of everything on screen to move off screen. So we can see here, everything shifts off to the left. The tools that I find most useful, we've got the smooth button. If we've got any 2 keyframes selected, by hitting smooth, it will apply a velocity curve to it. So not just an ease, a slight curve graph. It's a really nice, sharp velocity curve. And if we press play, there we go. We can see the motion start slow, speeds up in the middle, and then exits slow again. This is the easiest way to level up your keyframing with just one button. It makes it look super professional. We could do one-click zoom-ins, which is where if we hit in 20%, then it's going to add a nice keyframed motion, zooming in 20%. And if we wanted to reverse it, we could hit our mirror keyframe button, and whatever keyframes are selected, it'll flip it. It'll have the opposite of that happening. We can round the edges with just one click, toggle the motion blur of every single layer on and off with just one click as well. We've got a quick access button to get to the headphone settings. If you're like me, you're constantly switching between editing on headphones, and then your headphones die because you didn't charge them. So then you've got to edit out loud on your laptop, and for some reason, After Effects doesn't just swap it instantly for you. So this is just a quick access to your audio hardware preferences. And then we can export as a thumbnail. We can render with one click, and we can even send this to the render queue with the transparent preset MOV. If you have a shape where the anchor point is all over the place and the position's all over the place, highlight as many layers as you want, and we can hit the anchor and position crosshair button, and it'll bring all of the anchor points to the dead center and all of the positions to the dead center of the composition. That's QuickDraw. Take that with a pinch of salt. Obviously, I made this plugin. I absolutely love it, and I find it so useful. But yeah, check it out. It'll be linked in the description. enough yapping about my plugin. Let's move on to plugin number 3. So number 3 is Animation Composer from Mr. Horse. Now this is a plugin that I would consider to be almost a cornerstone of After Effects transitions. It is a free plugin which allows you to access a really big chunk of their library and their presets and their text effects. And you can pay extra to have some more premium effects and stuff like that, but there is so much you can do with their free version. So it's from Mr. Horse, and you can just download it on their website, mrhorse.com/animation-composer. Link will be in the description. And when it's installed, you'll have a window that looks something like this. Now, what I find I use this most for is the transitions and the text effects. So I'll run you through both, but they are so fantastic and they are just drag and drop. You need zero experience and they're gonna take your videos to such a professional level so quickly. Here's some examples of some super clean 2D animations, and you can just drop and drag these onto any layer and it will apply the effect. So we've got the video layer selected and we wanna use the bounce scale from Anchor Point. We can either have it apply to the beginning of the video, the end of the video, or both. So let's just hit both and see what happens. So we can see here now, it's applied the effect. And if I just hit spacebar, there we go. Instantly drag and drop, super, super easy. And it should, there we go. My favorite ones are the overshoot from Anchor Point because it has this nice kind of bouncing effect. So I'll just do both. And then we can see here, there we go. It's got that nice sort of bounce effect. And we can customize each of the motions as well. So if we look here, it says number of bounces. We can set that to 5. So when it comes in, it's gonna bounce 5 times. You could have a very boring video, which is just background, some images, some videos popping up. And you could just spend 5 minutes with Animation Composer and it is gonna completely upgrade what your video looks like. And a lot of YouTubers use this as well. Like if you think, you know, I'm a YouTuber, I'm talking about this thing here, just slapping it on the screen is boring. You know, what I do, drag and drop, nice bit of motion. Yeah, it takes stuff really to the next level with minimal clicks. The 3D ones will change your layer to be a 3D object and allow you to do more complex stuff. If I click this one here, it'll say, do I want to change it to 3D? And it'll do it all for me. And if we just look, there we go, easy peasy. Keyframing that would probably take, you know, a lot of YouTube tutorials and a hell of a lot of time doing a motion like that. And it's available in just one click. So there's also text transitions, which is another fantastic way of just adding a bit of life and a bit of motion to your videos. So I can click on it and it also gives me options specific to that effect. So here it says, do I want the effect to load in from the beginning of the text or the end of the text? So I'm gonna say from the start, and I want to apply it to the start of the timeline. So if I hit in, you can see there, fantastic, easy peasy. Now, this plugin comes with a warning, and that is that you can always have too much of a good thing. Don't fall into the trap like I did, where you see all these effects, your eyes widen and go, oh my God, I need to slap these effects on every single thing I do. Because sometimes it can, you know, you can overdo it. You can make your video look a bit seasick to watch. There's almost too much going on. So by all means, use this, but use this in moderation and don't go overkill with every single effect that you can possibly put on these videos. So yeah, that is Animation Composer 3 from Mr. Horse. Check it out, it's free. Get it on their website, link in the description. Plugin number 4, and it's a bit of a controversial one, so I wasn't sure whether I was gonna put this in the video or not, is Deep Glow 2. Now, if you haven't heard of this, now it's probably the most popular glow effect that is currently out there on the market for After Effects. It is available from the aescripts.com website, which by the way is a fantastic website that has loads and loads and loads of really great plugins that, you know, it's all organized in one spot. So go check that out. But Deep Glow 2, it's always a subject of debate whether or not this is a great plugin or not, because don't get me wrong, it is a fantastic plugin, but it is $99. Now, I'd hate to say it wasn't worth $99 because that seems crazy for a plugin. However, I use it all the time for loads and loads of stuff, and it definitely adds a certain level of premium feel to certain videos. So first of all, let me show you what it actually does. So with Deep Glow installed, we can select a layer, we can use FX Console to get to the effects really quickly, and then we can apply Deep Glow 2. And straight off the bat, it is going to create this sort of glow effect from your videos. Now, Deep Glow really works well for shapes and designs and logos and and kind of motion graphics work, not necessarily just on a normal video itself. And the way it works is it basically takes the colors from that layer, and depending on what you do with the settings, it'll add this glow effect. But if you just add it to a normal video, like for example, I'm gonna add it to this video right now, then it just glows every little pixel and everything just looks a bit mashed up, and there's not really a use case for it like that. The main use cases that people do, and I see people use it for, is really nice sort of like infographic videos where you are, it's really smooth motion, it's showing lots of different logos and lines and text. It's really great for text. There is so many settings you can change, and I'll be honest and say that I am, bit of a fiend for just slapping it on and not really thinking about it too much. But we can do like chromatic aberration, where it's going to split sort of the colors that we've got. And yeah, there's just so many settings that you can change that take your graphics to the next level. But with that being said, just like the other plugin, there's definitely a sweet spot. There's a bit of an inside joke, I guess, in the video editing world, that when people get this, they just slap it on absolutely everything, and it kind of just deep fries whatever video they're looking at. But it can, a subtle effect if you're doing maybe some nice cinematic Instagram reels. It can really help some of the, the words or the text or logos and stuff pop. But yeah, be warned, you can definitely overdo it. And too much of this is a dead giveaway that you are an amateur video editor. And with that being said, let's move on to number 5. So After Effects plugin number 5 is Watchtower. Now I think this is a bit of a niche plugin because I don't really know anyone else that uses it, but I do find it useful with these big projects where you're downloading a lot of stuff from the internet and you're trying to organize files. If your project consists of a lot of different moving parts, this can be super useful. So this is also a paid plugin. It's about $40, I think. Yeah, so it's $40, and it's from a website called knightsoftheeditingtable.com. And these guys do some paid plugins, but they also do some free ones. Check them out because, yeah, some of their other ones are also super useful, but that's for another video. Watchtower is essentially a plugin that will auto-synchronize a folder outside of After Effects with your After Effects bin. So what that means is your normal editing workflow would be, say I'm making a YouTube video and I'm talking about an iPhone 17. If I wanted to put a photo in my video, what I would do is I would go on Google, I would search up iPhone 17, I would download the image to my video project folder. I would then find that folder on my computer, drop and drag that into my After Effects project, and then I can work from it. But Watchtower will eliminate that middle step of having to go into your folder and drop and drag and bring stuff in each time. Instead, the way it works is with the Watchtower plugin, we can just select the folder that we like from the beginning. So we could even say this is our thumbnail, this is our folder that we want. We can drop and drag that in there. And that's just telling the plugin, hey, this is the project folder, this is what we're working from. And then we can click OK. And what it'll do is it'll have it imported here directly. And lo and behold, we have the iPhone photo in there and jobs are good. So now every single time you're on the internet and you're downloading lots of different photos and videos to piece your video together. So for example, I like this photo here. I can just save it. It'll go straight to the folder and then we can see it appears already in After Effects. And there we have it. It's one of those plugins that is saving you seconds each time, not necessarily minutes, but it's seconds repetitively over and over again, which add up a lot. And having something like this that will automate the synchronization process, that could easily save you 20 minutes of hassle every day, or a good hour at the beginning of each video, organizing everything, moving everything around. Thank you so much for watching. All of those will be linked in the description below, so check them out. Some of them are paid for, some of them are free, but I use all of them on the daily and they definitely help me and save me time, energy, money. So I think they're all worth it. But let me know what you think. And if you do want to check out QuickDraw, then don't forget that link is in the description and I'd love your feedback on it. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you watching this video and I will see you in the next one.